Hey, everybody. It's that time. All right, y'all know. Come on in the room, y'all. It's time to talk about these reality shows. Y'all know this week what we're doing on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. We are having a conversation about SWV and Escape.
That's right.
Listen, this show has been so good.
It has.
Jonathan is joining me again, our other super co-host here on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Jonathan with JoJo Speaks. Y'all make sure y'all follow Jonathan on his platform as well, too. Remember, he's got his own platform and he's looking for people to follow and subscribe and also to share in the chat with JoJo Speaks comes on Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Tell us about JoJo Speaks.
Absolutely. JoJo Speaks is my YouTube channel where we come together to talk about hot topics and social commentary, the latest happenings and goings on in the world. I have three co-hosts, my sister Jennifer, my brother-in-law Tyrone, and our friend Mike. So come and join us. Look us up on YouTube. It is just as it's spelled, JoJo Speaks. Subscribe, share, comment, press the notification bell, all that good stuff. JoJo Speaks on YouTube. Join us on Thursday night at 9:30 p.m.
I love it. And listen, Jonathan is busy out here because not only is he on his own channel, but he's also sharing a platform with Faithful Warrior Ministries. Tell us about Faithful Warrior Ministries and the great thing that they're doing.
Absolutely. Faithful Warrior Ministries is where we come together on Saturday morning at 10-ish a.m. So if you come in at 10:01 or 10:02 and we're not there, be patient. We are on our way. But we come together to pray collectively. Prayer is a very important part of all of our lives. And so we take this time to come together as a family and friends and pray together. So if that's something that you're interested in checking out and being a part of, join us on YouTube and Facebook. Just type in Faithful Warrior Ministries and you will see the praying hands, and that is us. Join us on Saturdays at 10-ish a.m. We'd love to see you there.
I love it. And y'all check them out. Let me tell you, they have some powerful prayers on that Faithful Warrior Ministries. It is amazing.
Yes.
All right. Let me tell you all also, we're going to get into our other super co-hosts, which are you, the viewers, and people who put their comments in the chat. You're our other super co-host. So as we give our review on this show tonight, we want you to join in the chats, share your comments, and let's possibly share them on screen. Let's have this conversation. And y'all know how we do over here at the Juice Radio and Talk Show. We're going to keep it nice, polite, friendly,
yes, absolutely.
very nice, and respectful.
Okay.
And it's all done in love.
Throwing a little shade here and there, if you please. But, just be respectful. That's all.
Just a little umbrella shade, not like a whole eclipse. Just a little umbrella.
Just a couple leaves worth of shade. You know what I'm saying?
Leaves, just a few leaves. Just a few falling leaves. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel already, please make sure that you do that. Check out the Juice Radio and Talk Show. You see our logo on the screen here. Look for the red mug and the microphone, and you know you have the right channel. You can also listen to this on our podcast channel, the Juice Radio Podcast, the Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast. It is so good, y'all. It's so good. Thank you and shout out to Noye Podcast Productions for helping us with that as well. Listen, we've got so much to chit chat about. Let's get over here in these comments because we've got Erin in the house. Hey, Erin. Erin's punctual as usual. She's saying hello. Hey to everyone. I love it. We've got Robin. Hey, Robin. How you doing? Robin's here. So glad that she's here. Love it. Robin, do you watch this show, SWV? I'm gonna drop the link. Maybe you can come on and share as well, We've also got Erin saying hello to Robin, and likewise, and Erin says she's so excited. Erin, if you'd like to come on also, we can do that also. Let me just go ahead and share this link because Jennifer could not be here tonight. Mm-hmm. So she had something she had to take care of. But you know what? It's okay because we can have you all to come on and chit chat with us. All right. So we went ahead and dropped that link and hopefully you guys have that there. But let's go ahead and let's get started with this chat. So Jonathan, here we are again with this show. Robin, you watch it? Great. Great, Robin. If you're available, check out the link and let's come on and chit chat about it. All right. So here we are talking about SWV, and I like how they started this one where they're showing the kids, Tiny and her little daughter and her children out there. Wasn't that cute?
It was not to mention that beautiful house that they were
Oh,
standing on the porch of. I mean, that thing looks so expensive, and it just screams like money. Okay, but yes,
Monday.
it's always amazing to see Tiny with her kids because you see the love that she has for them, and you see that they respect her, and that's really, really, really important. But the love that you see with them, that's the greatest thing about Tiny and her kids. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that house, honey, that house. Lord have
Woo!
mercy.
Let
She
me
got
tell
five
you.
of them. Jeez Louise.
Tiny, let me tell you, I love Tiny with her kids. When
Right.
she's with her kids, it is like always such a fun time with them.
It
The
is.
the youngest one, I think her name is Eris. She's so
Yes.
cute. I can't stand it. She's so cute. So cute. But I love,
Absolutely.
love, love that. Hey, Robin, thank you for joining us.
You said,
Tiny, let me tell you, I love Tiny with her kids. When
Hey,
she's with her
Robin.
kids, it's like always such
Oh,
a
let me turn.
fun
I'm sorry, I
time
have
with
the other one
them.
going in the background.
The no problem, no problem.
I
Okay,
just
there we
wanted to
go.
say really quickly, I love how humble Tiny is
I know,
because
right?
when someone has that much money, they could really throw it in your face and they can really have, be uptight about it. But she's so humble. She said, I
She
live
is.
okay. You know what I'm saying? But that's typically not what you see because on these housewives shows, everyone's flaunting their Gucci and their Louis Vuitton and all that good stuff. But we never see Tiny doing that. And I love the fact that she's a Black woman who doesn't have to throw her finances in your face and say,
That's
I'm
it.
richer than you. I love
I
that.
know. I know. Robin, what do you think about Tiny and her kids?
I want to just go off of what JoJo just said. What I think is very distinct between like this show and the Housewives show is that the Housewives franchises, in my opinion, have been built to imply, whether it's real or not, a measure of wealth, which leads to conspicuous, not even just consumption,
Mm-hmm.
but conspicuous displays of wealth and consumption, which may or may not be true.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That is why,
Mm-hmm.
for me, that's why you find Tiny so endearing
Yes.
because I mean, she just said she has five houses. Like, oh, I got two pair of shoes. It was because that's her. She was not being braggadocious. She wasn't trying
Right.
to one up anyone. She was just being honest about what her life is. And actually, about this show, just a quick thing about it. I was talking
Yeah.
to my girlfriends earlier today, and she said, "I don't watch it because I don't like one of the one of the cast members." And I
What?
said, "You know what?" I said, "I have to tell you, it's a very different show to me. So far, so good.
Hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
really honest. I don't know that they intended it to be as honest as it is, but
Right.
we're getting that anyway." And I said, "Oh, it's Candy. She doesn't like Candy." I said, "I don't know why you wouldn't like her." I said, "But I stopped watching The Housewives of Atlanta when Candy was pregnant with Ace, so I don't know what they've been up to." But
Okay.
Really?
when I watch her interaction with people who are staff members as well as other people, I found
Hmm.
her very endearing because you know what? They're really keeping it real, and I feel like that is their true personages that we're seeing.
Right.
So that's what I enjoy is that we're really getting to see how people really live like us. This is how we
Right.
do.
Mm-hmm. 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 Hey, Naughty Love. Naughty Love's in the chats. How you doing?
What's happening,
Naughty
bro?
Love. I love her. She's so great. If y'all didn't see the show we did with Naughty Love, you want to check that out too. Listen, Naughty Love, if you watch SWV, go ahead and click the link and come on panel. Let's talk about this tonight. Jonathan and I are opening up the doors to everybody tonight. We're just opening the doors up and sharing and have a
Okay.
good time having this conversation. She's saying hello. She's saying hello to people in the chat. And of course, Erin's going to greet you at the door, which she always does. So wonderful
Okay.
that. And Naughty's saying hello back to her.
Erin's the head of the usher board.
Okay.
Ah, she
She's the
is.
she's
She
the
is.
head usher. Ursher.
She
Ursher.
is.
The
And listen,
head
she
Ursher.
earned that position and she works it well.
Right.
Mhm.
I love it. Hello, Naughty. How you doing?
Good evening, panel. How's everyone doing?
Hey, Natty.
Good
Oh,
evening. Lovely to hear your voice, boo.
Oh, thank
I
you
know.
so much. I'm
How
just
are
logging
you,
out of work,
girl?
but I did watch the show. Oh, my,
You
my,
do?
my.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
see this latest episode?
Oh, absolutely, I did. Where do you guys
Ooh.
want me to begin?
Oh, well, we just started at the top, so you came in just in time. We were just talking about Tiny when they first opened up, and she's out there with her kids, teaching her little kids the dance moves and stuff.
Too
And
cute.
we were talking about such a great parent she is with her kids.
I love Tiny as a parent. She's really solid for her kids. And she doesn't try to restrict them. Even with her one son, King, when he's being all out of control, she owns it. Like, he's hard headed. I'm not going
Right.
to make any excuses for it, but she's really solid as a mom. And I like how she's so hands on. And that's what I like about the show, that they're showing them outside of their groups. All right.
That's
Right.
it.
You were seeing like the family aspect behind it. So I really enjoyed that about the show last night.
I love
Right.
that too. I love it. And then we see Candy with her kids and her husband Todd. Let me tell you, this little baby Ace, when this
17,000 subs.
what
Right.
Ace, he knew all those numbers. Let me tell you, those are big numbers. 17,000 something to the last one. I was like, Ace,
Right.
He's
how
very
smart are
smart.
you?
And you know
Jonathan,
what?
what's your
That's a
thoughts on? Go
testament.
ahead.
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry,
Nadi.
Juice. That's a testament, because I remember Candy was potty training Ace as soon as he could sit up. I think he was about what, 7 months old, and she would take him and put him on a potty. You
Hmm.
know, challenge your kids. They're smarter than what you think, okay? And look at the results.
Right.
Look at that. He
He's
up to
already got an income.
17,000.
Exactly. He's already got an income for himself and everything. I thought it was beautiful.
I thought it was nice to him, being from a business minded as I am, to see her sit there and say, "How many subscribers do you have?" And he sat there and he read that off. I was like, "Oh my good, come on now, take over all the family businesses, Ace, all of
Right.
them."
hmm He
Robin, what's
said,
your thoughts on Candy and her kids?
Oh, like I said, I stopped watching. Literally, the last time I watched Roa was the season when she was pregnant with Ace. So
Mm,
I have no vantage point except for what I saw of him. I was like, oh, okay, go ahead. And I have nothing. I don't have anything bad to say. So I only
yeah,
have
I get
positive.
that.
I just don't know. So I can't weigh in
And
intelligent.
listen, it's
Yeah,
still
we
love here.
understand.
It's still love. It's still
Mhm.
Yes.
love.
Mhm.
And I love the honesty too. I love the honesty.
Right.
Jonathan, tell me your thoughts on
Um,
Candy and the kids.
Right. I do love seeing Candy hands on. Of course, we've seen in past episodes of Real Housewives of Atlanta how her daughters have said, you're not here from time to time. We don't see
hmm
a lot of you, and it's good to see when she is in the home and when she is being hands on. She's obviously a very very loving mother. And that's always great to see. And for Ace to be, I think he's probably what, 6 or 7 now. I'm not exactly sure how old he is, but he seems to
Hmm.
be pretty intelligent for his age, and that's always a great sign to see, especially on when you can put your children on TV and they know how to act right. That's when you know that you've done well with your children. Okay.
mhm.
hmm
Absolutely. Well, we go to the next scene where Tasha is speaking to Taj and they go into the museum.
Yeah, I
Tell me,
I love.
Jonathan, your thoughts.
Taj is my favorite person on the show, period. I
Yeah.
love Taj. I watched her season. She was in on Survivor Tocantins, and I watched her season. She got to the final 4 or 5, I think. She was
Hmm.
really good. So that's what introduced me to her personally. And to
Okay.
see her bringing, because Tasha was in Nashville because of this meeting that she had with Motown Gospel. And so the fact that Taj brought her to the museum to remind
Hmm.
Tasha of the history that her group has and the history that her group is a part of, to encourage her to want to do this tour. Taj is so smart, and she's so lovely,
Yeah.
because after that conversation that Taj had with Tamika, Tasha could have come to Tasha with some, with a little bit of fire, but she came
Hmm.
with compassion, and wanting to know what's going on between you and Tamika, and the fact that she
Yeah.
picked up that it's not just the fact that she felt like Tamika disrespected her mother, because that's what Tasha tried to throw it off as. But
Right.
Tasha's smarter than that, and she knows that it's a lot more to it than that. And the fact that I don't believe that Tasha brought up the fact that Tamika said that she stole from her. I don't believe she said that during that scene.
Mm-mm.
So
No, she
that
didn't.
shows that Tasha is holding back with Taj. But then Tasha was comfortable enough to tell Taj that she had a meeting with Motown Gospel for a solo deal. Now she can tell Taj, who's in a completely different group, but she can't tell her own group members.
Her
Now that's
own group
so
members.
backwards to me, and that shows that further tells me who Tasha is.
Ooh.
Well, what I got from that was just, first of all, when we look at the history of these groups, what Taj represents is age, wisdom, experience, and
Absolutely.
foresight. And they as a group, they've been through their own stuff. And we know that she seems pretty discerning. And people know, because we talk. It don't
Right.
matter, whatever your circle is, you talk. So people know stuff. And Taj is not about the mess. She's about getting the right message to you to fix things. Because we know that where Taj and SWV are at this point, they have gone through a whole lot of peaks and valleys. And what I've learned and took from them is that they learned how to be about their business, do it with professionalism, but with a lot of love behind them too, and just be respectful. And I felt like that was a lesson, without hitting her over the head, that Taj was trying to give the young person, and putting it in a historical perspective too. I think was really, really important, because to not just say, we was here first. It was, this is an arc of our history, number one.
Yeah.
Then she gave them the anecdote about Destiny's Child. Well, I think she said it purposefully to resonate, meaning, you know what? There's somebody behind you, just like there was somebody behind us. And I felt like she was planting that seed for her to be mindful of how she shows up in the world and what she can and could mean to others.
Ooh,
I love it. Nadi, what's your thoughts?
Well, those were both very good points. But what I got out of it, I love Taj. She's always been my favorite. She has such a pure heart, and she always has good intentions, right? But unfortunately, it's snakes in the world, and I feel like Latasha is a snake. She's a snake. I feel like she always wanted to be on her own, but can she sustain a career on her own? That is the question. Because what is she without the group? And I thought it was real backhanded for her to bring up the fact that she was having that Motown meeting with Taj, and she didn't even bring it to the forefront with the group to let them know what she was doing. I feel like it's history repeating itself.
You know what, Nadi? But Nadi, tell us why you think that she's behaving this way.
What, as far as what?
Just how she's showing up. I'm gonna say what I see is that she recognizes that she has a talent, but she's never stood out on her own to know exactly. She's never tested herself or been tested particularly, and she has that man in her ear who's telling her how great she is. And I looked back at the first episode. She remains very prideful about how they got together. Yeah, I was seeing somebody else, and he went to my boyfriend and said, "Step aside, because I want her." And she just was chosen, and she never had a choice.
Right.
That's why I think Candy called him her brain. Because
I very much feel like her husband is in the way as usual, and I think he blows her up and gasses her up to deflect from what he's really doing in these streets. Because if you look at her, she does not look happy. She never looks happy with her husband. They're not in sync. It's just like a business relationship at this point. And I think she's hot in the fact that she knows what's going on outside in those streets. I think she's very unhappy. She thinks she's going to do the same thing she did in the past and get a different result. And the only thing it's going to cause a divide between her group, her sister, her family member, and then you're going to be left with this cheating man.
Right.
And I really believe her sister, when she said Rocky stole my money, she said that with conviction. And I believe it. I don't think she would put something out there like that about her sister's.
They definitely stole that money, because you know what? Two things. When the mama said, you don't know what she was going through.
Right.
That's all she wrote for me. And that was the admission. She knows about it. She condones it, does not condemn it. And, I think that she probably would be in a different space if they acknowledged it, because, she hasn't cut them off. So there's no danger of that. And B, even gave some consideration to making her whole. Let me pay you back some kind of way. Because she didn't just take the $30,000 that the sister didn't see. The sister also paid taxes on this money that she hasn't seen. So she was, they double dipped on her in a big way. And I think that, at this point, again, she says that she has enough information that she can prosecute her sister. She has not done that. I doubt that she will. The sister, if she was about anything, would go to her sister and say, you know what? I did steal your money, and this is how I'm gonna pay you back. This is how I can, or what I can pay you back. Can we work this out? Can you accept it? And can you forgive me?
Yeah.
And I think that would change the trajectory of their relationship.
Tasha really comes to me as someone who's very codependent on others. Back in the 90s, she had her sister Tamika, speaking up for her all of the time. She clearly has her mother speaking up for her all of the time. And she obviously has her husband speaking up on her behalf all of the time. It's almost as if Tasha doesn't have her own identity, and it seems like her own identifying feature or characteristic is her voice. That's all she's got on her own. And she wants to have this solo career, which I don't want to discourage anyone, but I would just say that the girls are always better together than they are as solo artists. I'll just say that as a blanket statement. But again, Tasha really doesn't seem to have her own identity. And that's what scares me about her, because, of the age that she's at right now, it seems like she's always leaning on others to do her bidding for her. And you can't live your life that way the entire lifetime.
Yeah, that's a struggle. It seems like a struggle.
She's always had that luxury. That's been a luxury that has been afforded her.
Absolutely.
Her mother laid beds of feathers for her. Her sister, as we learned, as I'm learning, because I just knew the groups, not their business. But it seems to me her sister always had her back. Then she got this husband who only speaks for her. I mean, she can't even answer a question that is asked of her. So she has never had to be responsible for herself or anything. I mean, I'm sure she does I'm guessing she does the basics, about her hygiene and stuff. But outside of that, I'm not impressed that she gives me, I mean, I really don't believe that she makes other decisions that are just daily her daily living activities on her own.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Erin said a great comment here. She said, I'm wondering if Tasha has internal issues, and I pray for her to be able to see these episodes, reflect and heal. And I'm going to agree with you, because there seems to be a lot going on. And like when she had the conversation, which I know you guys were speaking of earlier, I was taking care of some stuff here, but she had the conversation with Taj, and she was telling Taj her side, and said that her sister body shamed her. And Taj was like, you guys aren't speaking over a butt comment. This is, it can't just be that. And then she says, oh, she disrespected my mom. And she says, there's no way that, this is what y'all aren't speaking over. So Taj, like Jonathan said, Taj is way smarter than that. Exactly. So it is a lot more. And I think what has happened is, I think Tasha is seeing her side and Tamika is seeing her side. Let's go ahead and we'll jump to the mom coming to the house. I literally nearly cried that whole scene, from her at the front door to when they hugged it out at the end. Because looking at that, I could just feel that Tamika is feeling as though she's on an island on her own by herself.
Right.
And her mom, is standing at the door. First of all, the lean that the mama had, kind of like, and I was like, oh gosh, she's coming in, negative. Really, do we have to do all that? You're a mom. You're supposed to love both your children. What is this? What were you guys' thoughts? Nadi, what was your thoughts when you saw the mom at the door?
I thought it was a very cold entrance. I felt her nervousness.
Right.
and this is all too familiar. The way
Oh, yes.
this is how they've been operating, and she's
Mm-hmm.
been screaming to be heard for years.
Oh God, yes.
But I felt the intensity, Juice, like of emotion
Mm-hmm.
from Tamika to her mom, like, hear me. Because
Right.
that's
Yes.
what I felt for her too. Like, I felt like the mom automatically shut her down, didn't
Mm-hmm.
hear her out. But then also it was like the diva aspect that came into it. Like, I'm the fifth member, and it's just like, lady, please.
I mean, that part, I was like, are we really doing that? And then when she said that, I kind of felt like, and I'm going to come over to Robin, then back up to JoJo. When the mom said, "I'm the fifth member," I kind of felt like maybe the mom wanted to be the singers that her daughters are, and she's upset because she did not have that, or is that part of it? I mean, Robin, what's your thoughts on this conversation with the mom?
A couple of things on that part. I have not been able to figure out what role the mother played in their music career.
Mhm.
I mistakenly, and I really try not to blend what they bring us on the television show
Right.
with the outside forces, but I saw something where they said that the good daughter, I'm calling it the good daughter because I don't get the names right, has
Hmm.
on her social media a lot of pictures with her and her father,
Yes.
Right.
and it's like heavily, and she really expresses her love. And then I was like, well, is the reason this lady say she the fifth member because she cashed that check, and who
Ooh.
paid for that house anyway? I mean,
Uh-oh.
there is a sickness in assigning herself such a prominent role for someone
Hmm.
that we have not seen on stage.
Hmm.
Period.
Right.
And I said, this lady is, and outside of that, it's a wonder to me. I've never seen parents with, especially with just two of the same gender child, treat the
Right.
children so differently. Now, if the other one was a son, not for nothing, I say this all the time. Mothers, this is not for everybody, but very often when you see conflict with the kids, it's like, well,
Hmm.
mothers raise their daughters,
Right.
but they love their sons. And it's
Okay.
like that same thing with this one. She loves that one, and she raised with that okay, I don't know the names, but you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, right? The good daughters.
Yes.
Right.
So
Tamika. Yes.
so that's what came to mind. And then the other thing is, I don't care how much you can bring up, you can say God, Jesus, Lord, Christ, prayer, Bible as many times you want to, but if you not walking in the shoes
Come on
and
now.
Woo.
in the truth of the word, all you doing is talking, and we can put you on stage in somebody's bad play,
Ooh.
because there
Right.
is nothing about how she has moved in these, what, 3-4 episodes, that
Hmm.
that is at all spiritual, that is all at all loving of all her children,
Mhm.
that she seems like she's a deaconess in the church maybe, and we know
Mhm.
she ties with the good daughter's money.
Ooh.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't- I really I re- and I can't find it in me, because she hasn't shown me anything to give her any kind of grace about. I can't. There's
Yeah.
nothing that softens about her for me. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to us maybe getting there. I doubt it's going to happen, but that's what I would look for, because she behaves as a horrible human being.
She
Yeah,
does.
it's sad. It's sad. It's
Giving me
sad. You said
jealous.
a whole mouthful there. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Naughty Love. It almost feels as though there's a jealousy. Like, my kids are living a life that I wanted to live.
Right. She's living
Vicarious. The same
vicariously
Hmm.
thing
through.
happened with Whitney Houston and her mom, Sissy.
Oh
Okay, it was
boy.
that this, and notice the strain on the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
see
Mm-hmm.
that a lot when moms try to live vicariously through their kids.
Exactly.
And so then they
Wow.
try to take ownership of the career. Like, I gave you birth. I'm the one. It's always give me credit, give me credit, give me credit.
Mm.
It's not
Right.
enough that I bought you a house and I take care of you. And I just feel like she gets the best actress award for all the
Oh,
fake emotion.
wow.
Agreed.
Let
Yeah.
me come up to JoJo and I'm gonna get this comment. Aaron says, my heart broken for Tamika when her mom came in and threw out and show it out, maybe. Also wondering if watching this would change your mom's view, praying for them to move forward in a positive way. I'm praying that once they watch this show themselves, they will see their own things in their lives and their own behavior that
Right.
needs to be changed. Because sometimes when you're having the camera on you, you're behaving one way, and then when you go back and look at it, you're like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe that was me. Now I see. Well, some people, not all people. But Jonathan,
Gloria,
tell me your thought.
can I just say one thing real quickly?
Yes.
Jonathan, I bet you that Gloria is wishing that this was happening in real time so she could correct some of her behavior, because this is a whole lot to come back from her and the gospel singing daughter.
Yes,
right. I'm surprised we haven't seen the mother try to make videos on YouTube to try to, soften herself up a little bit, or to try to right the wrongs that she's obviously doing. What hurts me the most is that, Tamika says you show favoritism. And the mother straight up denies it off the bat. And then she goes on this tirade, raising her voice, getting in her daughter's face as her daughter starts to cry. And she's shoving all this vitriol into her daughter's face. And it's almost like she does not see what she is doing is wrong, and she feels justified in all of her actions. And I'm praying that when she watches this show, that she sees the errors of her ways and she at least attempts to do better in both of her children's lives. Hopefully she holds her daughter Tasha accountable for the things that she does wrong and the things that she can work on. And hopefully that she can get a better relationship with Tamika. I see Tamika reaching out to her mother and trying to build a better relationship with a mother who's basically ignoring her, or basically trying to put her daughter down to raise another daughter up, which is never a good sign. When she said, yes, I've been the fifth member since I put that microphone in your hand. It's like she wants acknowledgement for all of her daughter's accomplishments. And then you really can't do that. And then what took her mother to apologize to her was the fact that Tamika said, is if this continues to go on the way that it's going on now, I'm going to have to take a step back. And then once it was brought to her mother that she might lose her relationship with her daughter, that's what prompted her to then apologize to her daughter.
But is she apologizing because she don't want to lose her daughter, or is she apologizing because she don't want to lose maybe some possible financing?
That's what I was going to say. I go wallet.
Wow.
Which one is it? Because let me tell you, it hurt, and I could see the real hurt in Tamika. And yes, the mom was crying, and maybe there was some real hurt there too. But to just sit there and watch Tamika, when she originally started talking to her mom, sitting in the chair, she was sitting as though she was this little 5-year-old girl, sitting there having to take this language from the mom and this communication from the mom. And it to me, it just sounded like verbal abuse. It's like overpower of a parent. And I just sat there and I saw Tamika sit there, and I tell you, I was literally in my mind just crying for her, because Tamika was like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am, and it's just like this little 5-year-old girl. And the mother was just, bashing her, getting in really hard, to her. And I'm like, man, and Tamika, you could tell she's at her end. She don't want to deal with it anymore. But it was very brave of her to say to her mom, things have to change, or I'm going to have to take a step back.
And Juice, can I just highlight one thing Tamika said? Her mom is still scorned from that divorce, and she took that divorce out on those children.
She did.
Right. Absolutely.
Exactly right. That's exactly. Hey, Miss True Kelly, thank you for being here today. How you doing? She said that scene made me cry out because Tamika was crying out. She was. Aaron saying hello to you. She was. She said she looked so small during that conversation. She did, didn't she?
She absolutely did.
She looked. You could tell she looked so small.
And you see how she was raised. She was right. I was going to say she was
a little girl. In that
Go ahead, Nadia.
She turned into a little girl. You could tell that little girl in her was crying.
Right.
You could tell this had happened, like something happened between her and her sister, and the mom chose her sister's side. She was the good one.
Well,
in
she
her
said it,
eyes.
and then I'm gonna come over to Robin. She said it. The mother was like, hey, we went through this divorce with your dad. I went through this divorce with your dad, and she's basically like, she wasn't happy about what happened. And so Tamika even said, maybe because I look just like my dad, that's why she has a problem with me. Let me tell you something, you guys. From a personal point of view, I went through that same thing that Tamika's going through because my dad, and when my mom divorced, my dad had a problem with me because I look identical to my mom.
Mm.
And it didn't matter how much I loved my dad and I told my dad I loved him. He was so bitter and angry with my mom at a certain point that he didn't want to have that relationship with me.
Right.
And it hurt. And as a kid growing up, you feel that and you sense it. And even into my adult life, it just wasn't a healthy thing. And eventually, I was able to have a conversation with my dad, and we ended in a loving place, and thank God for that. I reached out to him, and we were able to pull ourselves together, and a lot of forgiveness went on, and a lot of understanding went on. And a lot of conversations happened, but conversations that needed to be had. But he was going through his hurt still. My mom was going through her hurt, and me as a kid, my brother, we were caught in the middle.
Right.
And so I think that's what's going on with Tamika, as well. And like she said, she's a daddy's girl. She loves her dad. And I love, my dad. And there would be times when the mother may not understand, why are you loving that guy so much when he did all this to me? But he didn't do it
Right.
to the kid. He may have done it to you.
That's the
You're right.
key.
Yes. Go ahead, Robin.
It really, when people are in combined relationships, whether they be friendships or family relationships, it takes a great deal of maturity to separate yourself out from them.
Right.
And it's the weirdest thing. I remember in this house where we ended up moving, a long story we'll tell one day. But this man who lived upstairs, he and my mother and I lived together, and he all of a sudden he stopped speaking to me. I would say hello to him, and he would not speak to me. And so
Wow.
one day I said to him, "Excuse me, did I do something to you?"
Right.
And he was like, "What do you?" Now he hadn't spoken to me like a couple of months. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I speak to you and you don't speak to me. What's the problem?" He said, "Well, me and your mother have we have beef. So I figured since I have beef with her, I got beef with you." I said,
Wow.
"Do I look like her?" And the thing is, it got a little heated. And
Mm.
I live in the Bronx, and one of the things that happens here is because the majority of people who live in my borough are Spanish speaking. Sometimes, you know how some people in the church they talk in tongues. Well,
Right.
Yeah.
I get to speaking in Spanish, and it was
Okay.
so much so that his wife was like, "What'd you say?" I was like, "Siéntate porque-" and I was like, "Oh, did you just know that?" Because I was like, I have learned
Hmm.
not to commingle my relationships, my friendships, or my feelings because what you eat don't make me fat.
Oh,
Right.
oh, I love it.
Exactly.
I love
And
it. Let me come up to Jonathan. Aaron says, I'm so sorry you had to go through that, Regina. Yeah, thank you so much, Aaron. Thank you. It was hurtful as a kid, but now as an adult, I try and help other people with their process. And mostly I try and help the adults to see their part. Like
right.
like Robin said, you got a problem with the parents, so now you're taking it out on the kids. We can't continue to do that. Yes, Jonathan. Thank you for
Right.
waiting so patiently.
No problem. I felt like it was so big of Tamika to humble herself, to
Hmm.
bring herself to apologize to her mother for disrespecting her. And I'm
I
using
know.
these air quotes because I saw no disrespect
I
whatsoever.
didn't either.
When they were playing the playback from the first episode, they were showing the portion in which she said that her mother said nothing when it was at the time that Tasha and Rocky had stolen from her. And so I
Hmm.
guess that would qualify in their minds as disrespect. But I did not see any disrespect whatsoever. But
Me
I
neither,
love
JoJo.
right, and
Mm-mm.
so I love the fact that although I don't believe her mother deserved an apology or was or needed an apology in any way, shape, or form. Tamika was humble enough and big enough in her own self to bring herself to apologize to her mother because she knows that her mother probably needs to hear that. Although,
Yeah.
once again, she doesn't deserve it, in my opinion. I'm sure she knew that her mother needed to hear those words from her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, you're good, Robin. You're good. I see your comment. I love that. So you know what? Here's the thing also with this, with Tamika. Tamika really is still trying to win over her mother's love, because when the mother came in the door, Tamika said, I cooked for you. And then Tamika said this. She said, I cooked your favorite
Your
food.
favorite.
And I was like, oh gosh, she's trying so hard. And this to still get yelled at. To still
Right.
get yelled at. It broke my heart. And I was like, oh Lord, just mend my heart back together, mend her heart back together, mend everybody's heart back together. But it shows me that Tamika, not only does she love her mom, but she pays attention. She knows what her mom's favorite food is.
Right.
To some that may be nothing, but listen, if you really look at it, she's like, okay, my mom's coming. I know what my mom likes. I mean, Tasha, do you know what your dad likes?
Ooh.
Or
So
Tasha, did you even know that your favorite food is salmon? I'm just saying, and not to throw shade at either one, but I'm just saying, Tamika took the time out to know this is my mom's favorite thing. Let me go and buy this so that I can prepare this meal for my mom. That's a lot of thought went into that. She didn't say, this is my favorite meal, let me give it to you. She said, this is my mom's. I want to prepare a table for her and make her feel comfortable and loved. That's what
right.
she did. She prepared a table of love for her mom, and she still got kind of bashed. Yes,
And
Jonathan.
I think it's important that we all look at both of their intentions coming into this meeting here. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
Tamika's intentions were to make peace. Tamika's intentions were to show her mother love. Tamika's intentions were to patch things up with her mother because she knows that her mother is is in a space that is not so good after their last meeting. And what did her mother come in with her intentions? Her intentions were to be right. Her intentions
Right.
were to be validated. Her intentions were to put her daughter in her place, and to also stick up for Tasha.
Or
And when you
Tasha.
don't come into a setting with the same intentions, the same good intentions, a lot of times things don't work out for the best in the end. And
Mm-hmm.
although that they left that meeting hugging and crying and all of that good stuff, I'd be interested. I'd be interested to see if there's another scene because we only have 6 episodes for this particular series for this
Mm-hmm.
first season. It'll be interesting to see if we see another scene of Tamika, Tasha, and her mother and their mothers
Yes.
all together in the same room to see if there's any type of resolution that is found with this. I don't believe that there will be any resolution if Tasha does not fess up to what she allegedly did to Tamika.
Yes. And that's going to come with a lot of healing and a lot of work. They need to get a professional to sit in there, and
Right.
have that. Get a professional to do that. So let me just read these other comments, and I'll come down to Nadi. Aaron says, thank you, Regina, for taking something that was hard and turning into a way to help others. Just one reason we all love you. Thank you, Aaron. I
Absolutely.
love Aaron. I love her. And then Miss True Kelly says, a little shade and laughs. That cabbage didn't look that good, but she did put in the efforts to welcome her mom into her house. It was weird that Miss Gloria didn't just walk in. Well, it's maybe, hey, Miss Gloria couldn't just walk in if the door was locked.
That's true. I saw
I think
another
when she's saying
reviewer.
open the door, you saying Miss True Kelly when she opened the door that she just didn't just walk in because she had to get that little pose on for a minute, to let her know. Listen, I'm really upset. That's why I'm standing on this porch. She says, but after a little stare off before entry, right? Go ahead, Jonathan.
Right. I was watching a reviewer earlier today, and they were saying that they were surprised that Miss Gloria didn't have a key to Tamika's house. And so I think that's what I think that's what they were trying to say is that they were surprised that Miss Gloria had to ring the doorbell to get into the house. I'm not sure if kids typically give their parents keys to their homes or whatever the case may be. So I don't know how that entrance could have been any better. But that might be what she was talking about.
Well, she said yes when she opened the door. Listen, I have done that before, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not doing that no more. I have given keys to all my family members, and I was free for them to do come and go as you want. We're fine. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing
No,
that no more. I'm
bad
not doing
idea.
that anymore. No, 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 no. Go ahead, Robin.
I was gonna say they didn't have a key to Miss Gloria's house either when they went to see her
Oh,
Exactly.
in the earlier episode.
that part.
Right.
Nadi, you wanted to add in to comment on this one before we move on to Coco?
Ooh, with JoJo, I felt even though they hugged and cried it out, there still was no resolve.
No, not at
Mm.
all.
There wasn't any solution. Mom did not really take any accountability for anything,
Okay.
and I think that's why the cycle keeps repeating itself. And it's
Oh.
flowing over into their group. The
Mm.
way their communication style as a family.
Mm.
Exactly.
That is something because it will flow to the over and over. And the next season, I mean, the next episode is coming up. We're seeing some of this stuff just flowing. Well, Tasha decides she wants to do a single, and she's talking to Taj about that. And she wants to do a gospel single. Now, here's the thing. My thought, okay, you want to do a gospel album or a gospel single or your own thing when there's so much hurt and stuff still going on in your own personal life. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Jojo, I'll start with you.
It's really all about, as I mentioned before, it's really all about Tasha's intentions. What are her intentions in going into this solo thing? I think Tasha feels as though she has something to prove. I think that's the main reason why she wants a solo deal, and I think that's the main reason why she wants to get out on her own, because she does not feel validated. She doesn't feel validated by the industry because of her size. That she was known as the big girl back in the 90s when Escape was big back in those days. And I feel like she felt like her size overshadowed her voice. And you know, to be honest, I don't know what Tasha will get out of this solo deal. I did see the gospel song that she released. I think it was either last week or the week before. It was a nice song. Again, I don't know how far that's going to go, but I think Tasha's really looking for validation, and I'm not sure if she's going to get it in this way.
Wow. Naughty Love, your comment after I read this comment. Miss True Kelly said, nah, my mom doesn't have a key, but when I open the house door, my mom just walks in. Sometimes she calls from the car and don't walk to the porch until I open it. I get it. Naughty Love, your comment on this one, on her single. What do you think about the gospel single?
Well, how come she didn't come out with a gospel single when the group was broken up? I mean, why is this the time for her gospel single? She had plenty of years to do her solo thing. Why now that the group is coming back together, we have to make it a point to make it all about her again and her, because she tried to snake him the first time and she tried to double down and create a solo career out of one of their group deals.
Well, that's what I think Candy was alluding to when she said, oh, here we go again. I think, listen, I don't know, Robin, your thoughts?
Well, that's exactly what Candy said. And you know what? I'm a co-sign you, Naughty, because if she was all of that, if her talent was such that she was destined to be a solo artist, why hasn't she moved on it? Is it because she was busy blue-coosing the $30,000? I'm sorry, that $30,000 alone. It doesn't compute for me. Because if you got it, you got it. So I think that she definitely is working to pit, not just pit one against the other, which is that, but to capitalize off of her association with this group. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah. And the thing that's so shady about it is that two things can be true at once. She could do two things at once, very honestly. Yeah. There's nothing that would preclude her from doing that. But I think that did Nadi just say, who just said that maybe she just wants to prove something? Maybe she wants to be in direct competition, not necessarily, even though they're not in the same genre, just in competition for a measure of success that we don't know what that is. Album sales, tour dates, what? But she feels like she needs to show them up, maybe.
Or maybe it's the husband pushing her. Maybe it's the husband pushing her. Go ahead, Naughty.
I do believe that too, Juice. But also look at Mary, the sisters. They did it. Erica went solo, and she still did her group stuff.
There you go. That's a great point, Naughty. Great point.
I think in a way, Tasha wants to prove that she's better than Xscape, that she can do better than Xscape has ever done, and that she is better off alone than she is with the group. So as I said before, she's looking for validation to say that she does not need this group. She can do bad all by herself. And to be honest, like I said again, they're all better together than they are apart. And that's something that Tamika, Candy, and Tiny know so very well. Yeah. And Tasha does not want to accept it.
And can I
Yeah.
also make this point?
Yes.
Tasha and her sisters were the ones pushing for Escape to come back together. And Tiny, I believe. Candy was against it. Remember?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
she's
Right.
like,
That's right.
I don't need this. Why should I reopen
Right.
these wounds? You know, I'm a millionaire on my own or whatever.
Right.
And they had to snooze
Multi-million.
her for her a whole season. And now she turns around and she does the same thing again. This is why Candy didn't want to come back together with the group.
Yep, she
Exactly.
didn't want the aggravation, and now Candy is on board, and now the sisters are like, that. What actually I can't say because Tamika is all in. I have been
She is.
watching some of the videos, and Tamika, Tiny, and Candy have been still touring without Tasha. They have been
Yep.
doing interviews without
Right.
Tasha. I was like blown away the other day. I was watching an interview online, and Tasha was not there. And listen, the billboard that's on the back, the green screen or whatever the screen is on the back for the
Uh-huh.
interviewer, they just had the three of them on there. They didn't even have Tasha's picture up there. And I was like,
The
oh my
show must go
goodness.
Right.
the show must go on. And you
It
forgot
went on.
your sister voice is as equally as good as yours.
And
Right.
here's the
And
Right.
thing, and I'm gonna come over to you, Jonathan. Here's the thing: when they're doing the tour, guess who's singing Tasha's lines? Her sister.
Her
Tamika.
Oh
sister.
my goodness, that's a
Okay.
hit. Go ahead, Jonathan, and I'll read these comments.
And that's exactly what I was just going to say. While they're on tour, Tamika is doing her sister's part. And
Yes.
just as a personal thing, I prefer Tamika's voice over Tasha's any day. And that's just because I really can't handle Tasha's running. She runs up and down like she's Jasmine Sullivan or Kim Burrell. And to me, her runs are just not on the same level. But that's neither here nor there. But
Not the
Tamika's
Kim
voice
Burrell run.
to,
Ooh.
to Tamika's voice to me is so beautiful and pure, and she can obviously take over her sister's parts. And so I don't know if Tasha feels like Escape can't do anything without her because they clearly shown that they can do anything that they want to do without Tasha in the building.
Mhm.
I absolutely agree, JoJo. Like the show will go on. And I agree with the part. Like she does overruns. It's just like, okay, we know you can sing, child. We know
Exactly.
you can sing. Like she does.
She, she, she sounded like Beyonce on Writings on the Wall. Beyonce ran all up and down in Writings on the Wall, honey. But although it didn't sound bad, she that's just what a young Beyonce did. But
Oh
Beyonce
goodness.
has matured in her singing, and Tasha hasn't found that yet.
I love
And
it. So Miss oh go ahead. Who was going? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
and
go
that
ahead,
just goes to
Nani.
show. I'm sorry, that just goes to show what were you doing all those years the group was not together.
Thank you.
You weren't prosperous. Your husband wasn't pushing you then, and I'm telling you, her husband is going to be her demise. Mark my
Ooh.
words,
He
because he
pushing
get
because these cameras rolling. He pushing. Now I'm not mad at him for taking a moment, but still, you still want to be able to, make sure that you doing things in the right way and a good way. But
Right.
he's got his. I mean, when he walked into the studio too, when they were doing that. But I don't want to carry on to that. Let me get these comments, and then I want to talk about Coco real quick while we have a few more minutes left. Miss True Kelly said, if she was a businesswoman, she could do both. Why give up the
Mm-hmm.
touring money for a proposed solo album that may flop? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely. And then she also says, everyone is not meant to be a solo artist, and that is okay. Right?
Yes.
And
Right.
hey, Corey. Corey's
Hey,
in the
Corey.
chat, y'all. Say hello. She's saying hello to everybody. Thank you for being here, Corey. She says, I'm at work, but in the bushes. Girl,
All
don't
right
get
now.
tricked by them bushes, but thank you for being here, girl. Let us know if you need us to come help pull you out the bushes now. And Erin is going to greet you at the door. That's what she does. She's a great greeter. And she's saying, Corey's saying, how we doing? We're all doing great. And Miss True Kelly said this about Tasha. She's not Coco.
No, she's
With
not.
the
Not
singing.
at all.
I know. Aaron says to Corey, May my day is blessed. Hope work is well, doing good. So glad you were here. And she's saying, how is her day? And they're having a cute little chat in the little chats. I love it. I love it. So listen, I want to say this. Coco had a really great part in a scene that she did, and she talked about her mental health. And she spoke about that she's been diagnosed with bipolar. Now, let me tell you, first of all, I want to say thank you to Coco for sharing this information on a public platform because
Right.
a lot of people want to hide that. Coco went in deep on it because Coco said that she knew it was a problem, but she did not seek help until she started having thoughts of actually taking people's lives,
Right.
we'll say. And that's when, at the point that she decided, listen, I got to get help. She said that she's on medications. It's doing well. She's still struggling. However, she is on a medication. I'm so, so glad that in the midst of all this stuff that's going on this show, that they brought this up and put it on panel, because a lot of stuff gets cut. Thank you to the network for not cutting this part. Jonathan, what's your thoughts? And I'll come down to Robert and over to Nadi.
Right. I just wanted to talk about Coco overall.
Yeah.
I love Coco's personality, and I love the fact that she's open enough to share this information with the world, because bipolar people sometimes get a bad rep. And,
Yeah.
people will say that there's something wrong with them. And yes, there is something wrong with them, but there is medication to
That's
help
right.
settle that out. So I'm so glad that Coco not only knows herself, but she also has a community around her. She has two good friends that are there to support her. They were the male was asking her, I can't remember what his name was, but he was like, "How are you mentally?" Asking you, the right questions, and not just going along with it when you're all doing good all the time. And we all know that that's not the case for everyone. Everyone's not always good all the time. So checking up on your friends, and I love the relationship that she has with her family.
Yes.
Her relationship with her son just warms my heart to my heart just melts when I see her and her son on camera together. And the scene, if I could talk about that scene really quickly.
Yes, please.
The scene of Jaden telling his mother that he doesn't want to continue with school and that he actually wants to do the singing thing full time. And I love the fact that she called her mother, and her mother got on the phone. And we can obviously tell from this phone conversation that Jaden is Coco's mother's baby boy.
Ooh,
And
yes, he
she
is.
said, you need to come on, sit on mama's lap, honey.
You need to sit
And
on my lap.
I just, oh my goodness, I just love that. As soon as Coco said, he crying, she said, come on, sit on, baby. Sit on my lap, baby. Let grandma make you feel better. That just made me feel, I love it.
I love that. I love that part. And he's saying, why do I have to do something that I don't want to do? And I love Coco still being a mom, a straightforward mom, and saying, listen, school is important. Education is important. You could do the singing on the side, but you got to get your education. She didn't just say, okay, baby, do what you want to do. Maybe grandma will say that. But Coco is still going to be a mom. She's in the business. She's in the profession. She knows she don't want to set him up for failure. So I'm glad that she had that tough conversation with him, and she still remained a mom. I love that.
And I will say to that point, I hope that Jaden changes his mind. I hope that he does stay in school, because Coco was saying he was making great grades. And so, if you have something that you're good at, then go for it. But then at the same time, if it's something that your heart is not in it, then you won't be able to put 100% of yourself into it. And so, I'm kind of split on that. But I would encourage Jaden to stay in school, because that's something solid that you can always go back to. Singing is not always going to be there.
Robin, your thoughts on Coco? What do you think about her and her sharing her depression and with her son? Okay, I don't know if Robin is there. Nadi, what's your thoughts on Coco? Okay, I don't know if we can hear either one of them.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
There she is. There she is. Okay. No problem. What's your thoughts on Coco and saying about her bipolar, sharing that, and her son?
Oh, I thought it was a testimony. And Coco, thank you for showing up for us, okay? Because we need to have honest conversations like this. This is how you check in with your friends when you know they have challenges mentally, okay? It's not a death sentence. They don't have the cooties, okay? They just need a little medication to balance out the moods and stuff like that, or whatever. And Coco has been through a lot. She's been through divorce and everything. And I love her relationship with her son and the way they talk openly, and I love the way she outreached to her mom, and I love the way her mom bust her bubble and said, "Do you want to sing?"
Right.
And I let you sing.
Right.
Let the boy sing.
I know. I love it.
He was trained by the best. Let him go.
Right.
I love it. And let me tell you, I do love the love. I love the support. I love how he loves his mom. He loves his grandma and how she loves him. And Coco loves her son. I love it. Robin, your thoughts on Coco?
Two things. The first of them, I was happy that she spoke about her mental illness.
Yeah.
But I have to be honest, and I'm really honest to say that she did make me laugh when she talked about it. Because when she said I could be in jail, and I was like, you could be in jail. Somebody could be not here no more.
Right, exactly. She kept it real.
It cracked me up because she was like really about herself in that moment. She was really thinking about what she needed to do for herself. Yeah. And I love that moment. But about her son, I have this to say.
Yes.
I don't 100% agree with folks about go ahead and get your education.
No.
Now, because at this moment, until this moment, he's on a trajectory and he has a plan. I'm going to go get my bachelor's degree, and then I'm going to go to dental school.
Right.
I believe it is a 100% incomplete sentence, statement, comment, or concept to say, I want my kid or I want to go to school, go get your degree. What's the rest? What are you getting it for? What are you going to do with it? Because we know that the cost, I don't care how much money unless you got money like that. Mm-hmm. For me, it didn't cost that much because I'm older, but you really have to understand what going to college means, what getting a college degree means. And by the way, they're not necessarily the same thing. And so I think that it's important to have a stated purpose. So if you want to go to college, because like in his first instance, it was a means to an end because he needed to go, because he wanted to be a dentist, and that is a prerequisite. Check.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
He wants to go because he needs to be particularly socialized, have certain experiences, know how to complete tasks, because that's what college is, in my opinion, for a lot of people. It's can you get up every day and get where you got to go? A test is, do you know the material, but can you get through it? Can you get your laundry done? If you're on a sports team, can you do all of those things? And so I think that it's really important that we need to drive it home to people that it's not, for me, it's not okay just to say, go to college, because this is the 2000s and 20s. This is not the 1950s or 60s or the 70s where nobody was going to work with their hands anymore. Everybody was going to wear a white shirt and be in an office. And so I say that to as many people as possible, because I believe wholeheartedly that it's a very important distinction he made. And if you're going to go to college and be there, know why.
I love that. And great point.
And can I add on to that, Juice?
Yes.
College isn't for everybody. And I agree with Robin. You have to have a purpose. Like if you want to be a doctor, that's what you go to school for. You understand? Okay. Right. Or whatever. They have so many options now, Juice, to make money and support themselves. And I think he's just trying to take advantage of his mom's platform that she created for him.
Agreed.
I love it. Well, you know what? You both gave very great perspectives. Let's just pray that they make the right choice for him and that he will get to do his career that he wants. But listen, in the meanwhile, little cute, you young man, I can't remember his name, but little cutie with the lashes, everything. Listen, you need to know how to count your money and manage your money. So even if you don't go to college for all that, at least get that side of it. Because there have been a lot of singers who have lost everything financially because they weren't doing it themselves. So at least get that part of the education if you don't get anything else, okay?
Right, but those eyelashes were popping though. I must say.
Eyelashes are nice. We're going to get these last two comments and we're going to be out of here. Miss True Kelly says, I'm glad she shared that. I'm getting more from SWV than Xscape. And seeing their scenes make me enjoy the show more. Yes, me too. We haven't been seeing that much from Xscape. Maybe we're going to get more in the later episodes. So Aaron says, watching on the ladies in their lives, watching them being moms, my heart is full. So grateful that they can be amazing on stage and real strong women for their families. teaching them about real life. I love that. I love it. And
Right.
yes, absolutely. Well, listen, guys, we have run out of time for tonight's episode, but we're going to be back next week. We're going to be back next week. We're going to continue to do our recap. If you haven't already done so, remember to subscribe to the channel, the Juice Radio and Talk Show. You see the logo on the screen there. Subscribe now, the Juice Radio and Talk Show. I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Custom Apparel Shop. Thank you, Israel Mason. He's the owner. If you would like to get your embroidery done, y'all contact Israel Mason at Custom Apparel Shop. His direct line is 786-657-7501. And then a great big thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, thank you for helping this platform out. Truth and Triumph Ministries is a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so that they can triumph in life. And that's what we do here on The Juice. I want to thank our other super co-hosts, Naughty Love and Robin, for being here. Appreciate y'all so much for being here.
Thank you. Your input was amazing.
Yes.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank y'all so much. We're going to get ready to get out of here on the count of three, team. We're going to say bye for now. Are y'all ready?
All right. I want to say something really, really quickly.
Oh, yes. We got to do our closing thoughts. Yes.
Sure. First of all, I do have to make this announcement. There will be no Light of the Leo tonight. Jennifer will not be posting tonight. And I also want to say, for those who watched the end of the episode, when Candy was asking for top billing, she put out an explanation on her YouTube page as to why she was asking for top billing. Because when I saw the preview, I felt a little off about it. But when she explained it, it made so much sense. So if you're feeling off-put by what Candy said, watch her video and she explains why she said what she said.
I was off-put.
Jojo, can I just say this?
Yes.
Can you please put this on your agenda for discussion as part of discussion for next week? Because it took me back to that whole kerfuffle with DL Hughley and Monique. Remember about top billing? And then all I could do, and this a nod to you, Naughty. Every time I kept thinking about it, I went very 90s rap. That's what all I can say. Top billing. That's what we get. God is good.
Yes, Robin.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get off of here. Oh, look, you guys, Diva's on. Listen, let's all move straight over to Diva. Let's move over to Diva. All right, on the count of three, we're gonna say bye. And again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for following the channel, subscribing, and watching the show tonight. On the count of three, team, we're gonna say bye. But remember, y'all, we're gonna be back next week. Click those notification bells. Hey, beautiful. Click those notification bells. All right. Y'all ready, team? 1, 2, 3.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.